instance, you wanted to build your own world, right? Just as the demiurge or whatever built this world, you want to build your own world, just better to this one. Or just whatever experience you wanted to experience. Say it was a cowboy world, and you just want to be a cowboy and fucking shoot Indians, right? For instance, that's what you want to do. You're like,
totally
I want to
do.
Yeah.
Totally, it'd be awesome.
Maybe I want to shoot the cowboys, be the Indians, shoot the cowboy, whatever.
Yeah.
So you want to do that. You want to fucking pop some Indians. But you're like, I want to do that, but at the same time, I don't want the Indians to be feeling pain. But I want them to appear like they're feeling pain.
Yeah.
Right? It's kind of like Westworld. You guys seen Westworld?
No.
So basically, this scientist ends up creating this.
Oh, I have seen that with the
like a theme park
thing, and the guy,
theme park, and he builds these androids and encodes them with AI, and then the guests pay lots of money to go into this theme park, and like a Wild Wild West situation, and they're all dressed up as cowboys, they have guns, and then they can rape whoever they want and kill whoever they want because they're all just androids.
Do whatever fucked up shit they want.
Yeah, and with no repercussions.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can understand that, but in a way, I think those androids actually do feel pain.
Well, what happens with them, because they get mangled up and fucked up so many times and started again, they have a residual memory of the past every time they've been fucked up, and the whole thing that they start flipping out when
they rebel.
And that's the thing. Yeah. They broke the programming.
Yes.
Which is what, the whole theory behind that. Can anything break the break what they're meant to do?
Yeah, but it's like, if you're playing Grand Theft Auto, the NPCs aren't going to rebel, no matter how many times you kill them. Just because they're not conscious. But you still have fun playing the game.
They rebel. They chase you down and punch up with you.
But that's not rebelling against what they were programmed to do. They were programmed to do that.
Yeah.
Right? And they're not conscious, they're not feeling pain. But when you punch them, they're like, ugh! And it's like, oh! Like, it feels real. It feels like they are experiencing pain, but they're not. They're not actually. So then that's why there's no guilt, there's no remorse.
Yeah.
And and you gain pleasure from it, and you don't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, this is fun. Or you're playing Doom or something, and you're going around killing demons. You shoot them and flesh pops off, and they're like, and then they die.
Yeah.
You feel good about it, if anything. The thing didn't actually experience pain. So you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. It's like, if you were going to create a world, why wouldn't you do it like that instead?
That then teaches you to not have any responsibility for your actions.
How so?
You're making yourself think that that's a good thing for enjoyment.
Why not?
That's why people get out of playing those games, and they get enjoyment. Actually,
That's what I'm questioning.
Yeah.
Isn't that evil?
No, because you're not causing any suffering.
No, you're practicing it.
Yeah, but it's still.
But if you're unable to differentiate between what is conscious and what is not, that's a problem.
Why do you enjoy that?
Okay, well, just say I'm beating up something. Like, look at the moves I'm doing. That's awesome. If I was able to do that, yes, I can kick this guy's head straight off. I can fucking fuck him. He wants to fight me. It's a male thing, I think.
Is punching a punching bag bad? Is that evil?
Yeah.
Because you're practicing punching someone.
No, because you're practicing a craft by yourself, and you're not imagining it being another person.
What's that? Well, I imagine punching up somebody that's wronged me, like Daniel Andrews.
Even people go into a ring and they bash the shit out of each other. It's not wrong because they're consenting. They both agreed to it.
The room likes picking it up.
Limits when there's no consent. As long as there's consent, it's alright. If there's two samurai and they're like, yep, let's have a duel to the death.
I think it's self-indulgent.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it is, it's not immoral.
Yeah. It's like I said, it's a male thing. Yeah. I told you, when you say you want to kill people, you can't do it because you can't even concept. She gets so scared of blood and shit like that. It's like, yeah.
Because there's different levels to it. People think death is the end. Killing is just killing. It's not trapping someone in a reincarnation soul trap. It's just like if you're in a game world, because everything essentially is a game world, like from what I know at this point, then you just reset and you're back to spirit outside the game. If you're going to create a Wild Wild West world, and say even with players, you're going to kill them, right? Boom, they're dead. They just pop out. They're not experiencing pain. Like this world is evil. Because, you put your finger over a fucking candle and you feel pain. Like, that shit's evil. That's wrong. just from that.
Yeah, but pain is actually like an alert system. It's like an alarm system for your body to tell you
why
there's
does it need
danger.
to feel like that? It's like I could, feel this.
Because if it didn't feel unpleasant, you wouldn't actually get into the. You need to kickstart your adrenaline to actually get into the fight or flight where it gives you like more.
But why does the body need to feel? Why does it get burnt in the first place?
Okay, well here you go.
Why is it not getting burned?
What's that?
Why does it not just get burned?
Because fire burns everything. Like actually.
But it doesn't burn metal.
What's that? It does
burn.
If you hit it hot enough. I can melt.
Yeah,
metal
but
with an
it has to
oxytorch.
hit it hot enough, right?
Yeah, but it's still fire. You can melt anything. Fire can burn anything.
Oh, I don't know.
Everything burns.
Light doesn't.
Yeah, it does. Light. That's actually
Light.
the light is literally the burning of a photon. It's when it's like
Well, this light, how do you burn
it's an energy reaction, which is light. Like it's and energy a reaction only occurs with either friction or heat. The only two things that cause anything to happen. Without that, everything that's what causes vibration. When people talk about vibration of things, something has to cause a vibration, and the only two things that can do that is friction or heat. And that's as we know
friction
everything.
or heat.
Yeah, friction or heat. That's the only two things that actually cause a vibration of
so you're
something.
saying when we speak right now, it's a friction of sorts.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is. It's a friction of that's all vibration is, and like heat can actually activate that as well. Like, that's how chemical reactions are made.
From friction.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. It only has to be two things rubbing against each other, and the actual electromagnetic particles, the fields they actually emit, that static electricity will fucking create energy.
Isn't it it doesn't friction create heat though?
Yeah, same thing. Heat.
So it's just friction.
Yeah.
You're saying it's just friction that creates.
No, you can still create heat without friction. So it's either heat and friction.
How can you
Interesting.
create heat without friction?
What do you mean?
How can you create heat without friction?
With light.
Like a light bulb?
No, with a magnifying glass in the sun, you can actually create a fire without actually having any friction.
Wouldn't it be perhaps at the microscopic level or something, like a friction of sorts that's happening, like the light going through the magnifying glass is friction?
Yeah, well, hey, if you want to go deep enough into it, I think you're probably right there. But for some reason, I have actually gone into this, and heat. It's not coming to me right now, but it will in a second. But yeah,
it's interesting because then I try to relate it back all to a metaphysical point of view, and like maybe friction is just imposition.
Oh, sorry, no, because everything is a chemical reaction, basically, which is reacted by vibration. You can make a chemical reaction just by applying heat. But the argument is heat only applied with friction? Is that what you're getting at?
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, basically is the only way to make heat is to apply friction or something.
Nice.
I'm not sure. I can't say for sure whether it is. I'm pretty sure you can make heat without friction, though. Just a little sense is telling me that.
Yeah. We're just wondering if everything at the finest level is friction. Because friction's a physical thing.
Yeah. Well,
right, but it's like, what's the metaphysical cause behind friction? Is it like imposition or something?
It doesn't matter what you do. If there's no friction, nothing actually happens.
Yeah.
If I pick this up and there's no friction, I don't pick it up.
Well, the whole concept of
no friction.
If
there's no friction, we'll just
nothing happens.
Hey.
Apart from what is already happening.
We need to find other examples.
That's why I'm saying...
Not the microphones.
No, that was...
Because if you play with it, it's like... it makes lots of sound.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying, like, you guys familiar with imposition?
Yeah, it's a really good Tool song.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, I've just recently been trying to figure out what imposition is. It's like anything that is imposed against a position.
Yeah, like a situation that you haven't asked for, basically. It's something that's...
Especially, but it's anything that really causes you to make a choice.
Yeah.
Like, imposition always takes a choice, but it always gives a choice. That's what imposition does. If you're driving...
But a choice only happens when you have a situation to choose from.
That's imposition.
Yeah.
So if you're driving along the road and a car in front of you brakes... That's an imposition to what you were currently doing, which was driving forwards. It takes away your choice, which your choice was to continue doing what you're already doing.
No, it doesn't take away your choice.
It gives you other choices.
You can continue driving. You still have a choice.
Yeah, that's a bad choice, but you can't do it.
Like maybe if there's a big truck in front of you, you can't continue driving.
But it takes away the choice of being able to continue at the same speed, because you're going to... sure, that's giving you another choice. And your choice could be to keep going. Because at that point you have to make a choice to keep going or to put your foot on the brake.
But don't you have to do that all the time? Whenever you're driving, you have to make a choice whether you stop or continue.
Even when
no, because if you're just going on the freeway 110, there's no one else around. You don't need to make a choice to stop because you've already chosen the next exit I need to take is 10 k's away. So I've just got the foot on the accelerator at 110. You're like, that's just what I've chosen to do. There's no imposition at that point for the next 5 minutes, 10 k's. And then so the car, say there is a car. No, I like what you're thinking though. A car
funny,
you've got to question this stuff. Yeah.
And then but the actual definition of imposition still means the same thing. But
to give and take.
But see how he did that? He flipped that around a little bit to make it sort of like
No, you gotta. I think you have to. That's how you really figure things out. By figuring out what it's not, and you go.
You don't ask questions, you don't get answers.
That's what I said before. Language can be used to manipulate anything. That's what I mean. You can make anything work out with itself. That's the really bizarre thing about it. Like you literally can just distort it to mean anything else that you want. Like it's That's why people can look at the same thing and get totally different fucking meanings from it. But it's the same thing. The thing doesn't change. It's just the way you look at it.
So give me an example of that.
Okay, well, the 9 and 6 thing. If there's a 9 or a 9 in front of me and you're standing over there, it's a 6 to you, but to me it's a 9. But who's right? From where you are, it is a 6. But where
I'm more concerned about that E.
The E.
Yeah, but you keep saying it's a 3.
Yeah, well, same deal as well. Like, that whole Well, then you look at there's a psychological test with the duck and the rabbit. Where, some people you look at it that way that the ears are a beak and it looks like a duck, but then you look at it another way and it's a rabbit and that's the ears. Like,
just depends on which way you're looking at it, what your perspective is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Everything comes to perspective. Good, evil, anything. It's just the way you actually perceive something.
So that's why I don't think good and evil can be perspective. I think that is objective. Because with the 6 and 9, I can go, well, from my perspective it looks like a 6. I know from your perspective it's going to look like a 9 because we're looking at it from different angles. Objectively, it's the same shape, just inverted upside down. It's the same shape.
Whoever wrote that, we don't know if they wrote that as a 6 or a 9. So whatever intent they intended.
But it's the same shape.
It is, but it's also both shapes. It's all
But both shapes are the same. It is the same.
They have different values. The 6 and the 9.
It has different values, but
So we'll say
depends on the perspective you're looking at it from.
There's 9 pieces of gold and 6 pieces of gold. I get 6 because I'm on 6 and you get 9 because you're on 9. But say, hang on a second, but I'm on 9 from my side. I should get 9. So it's all perspective, basically.
Well, that's different, though.
Yeah.
That's a different example compared to we're just looking at a 6 on the ground.
But how does a 6 and a 9 have different values?
Monetary values, as in units.
Or just what we've agreed upon.
Yeah. 9 things are more than 6 things.
But what is 9 and 6?
What's that?
What is 9 and 6?
Units of measurement.
Well,
they're
just ink on a page, or
no, the concept of
9 and 6 are the same because you use the same amount of ink to write a 9 and a 6. So their value must be the same.
Well, if you value things by ink, but if you use it as a term of monetary counting, and if you value things by the amount you have, as in pieces of gold.
So you're saying, depending on your perception, they can have different values or the same value.
Of course they can.
So if I'm valuing it on the ink, you
can say they're both the same.
But you two are valuing it on the perceived 9 or 6, so you're getting different amounts.
I'm valuing it on the amount it represents.
So you two are arguing that you're getting different amounts, but I think you're both getting the same amount.
Would you want to do 6 or 9 months prison?
That's funny.
Well, they're both the same amount.
Okay, look at that.
So you're happy
look
with
at
either?
that. Look at that. Okay, 1 second there.
I'll choose then 9.
Let's stop for 1 second, okay? Those numbers 9 and 6, we just picked that at random. I did 9 months in prison, he did 6 months in prison.
Yeah.
And how that just came full circle around by itself then, without any How did that work out? 9 and 6 months. 9 and 6.
How's this fair though? You got 9, I got 6. James missed out.
Yeah.
Well,
and you know what? That's my whole point. How language and numbers seem to work is if you keep using them, they'll always work out the way you want them to. Situations like that. Perfect example. And once you know that, you can actually create a whole reality. Oh, he's turd now.
Shh, settle.
I don't know. Are you nervous?
Nah.
He's wagging his tail.
Yeah, I know. But it's
Yeah.
So anyway, what we're saying, but
Like, well, I want to know with your definition of evil, good and evil. How do you define good and evil?
I don't believe there's good and evil. I think it's all perspective. I think that people will do what they feel that they're justified to do.
So if I just wanted to torture you right now,
yeah,
and I just started torturing you, right? But I shot you with a thing that incapacitated you, so you're just there and you can't fight back. And then I just picked up a knife and started cutting you up.
Yeah,
like,
again,
how do you perceive that?
If that's the only way you could get a boner, then I'd feel sorry for you. But I
it's
don't,
not
I don't
a boner.
understand.
I just want to do it.
But maybe that's the way. Maybe that's why you do it, because you get, for some reason you're born, you get sexual pleasure out of torturing someone. I can't be like, that's not evil in my mind. That's something that's out of your control.
No, I've got full control over it, so I just choose to do it.
Yeah, but you're not even aware of this. Yeah,
maybe I don't even
Otherwise
get pleasure.
You wouldn't choose to do
it. If you're indifferent, then you're not evil. You're just indifferent. It's like
so you wouldn't perceive that as an evil act against you.
No, I wouldn't. I'm not evil.
Right.
I'm not because I wouldn't know it's evil. I don't know their story. It could be any number of things, any number of possibilities.
So you don't think people doing things against you outside of your consent is evil?
No. I think people.
So anyone could do anything to you, and that's okay.
I think people are able to justify doing anything to anybody if they need to. So yeah, so I don't think it's evil. I think that they could be justified in thinking that me speaking the way I do about things is bad for society, and I need to be killed. They could be thinking they're doing something for society. And maybe they want to eat me. And if you kill something, if it's in a lot of trauma, fucking the endorphins that get into the blood make it actually. This is why people like torture things before they die. That dog meat festival they have in Asia, where the more horrific the dog dies, the better the meat is. This is what people believe. It's a thing. So maybe fucking people want to eat me and think the more they torture me, the better eating I'll be. Still, that's not evil in my mind. It's deranged, but still not evil.
But it's not evil.
Yeah.
So even killing an innocent child and raping them and killing them,
because they believe that child's blood is what they need to survive, so it justifies doing it.
Not survive. Say they just want to do it for pleasure.
What's that?
Yeah, just rape the kid and kill them. They're just because for fun.
Well, again, they're getting pleasure out of it, so that's not evil in their mind. They're not doing.
So maybe not in their mind, but you don't think it is?
Well, I don't think it is because the person committing it is not aware they're doing evil. So how can it be evil?
So you lack the understanding of good and evil.
No. Basically, I don't believe that people are capable of doing anything.
So if I was to then if I saw a little kid being raped and someone was going to torture and kill them, but I stepped in and I stopped that, would you? And I saved that child. Do you perceive that as good?
Well, I see that as human instinct. I think inherently you're human.
But would you say it's a good thing to do, or would you say it's a bad thing to do?
What do you mean good and bad though? As in, is it the right thing to do?
Meaning, if you were being tortured by someone,
if I was here's the answer.
And then I was to come and save you.
If I was raised with strong morals to protect other people, protect the weak, if I had abilities that I was obligated to do that for society, then if the situation came along, I would just do that out of what I know. It wouldn't be because I'm good. It's because I was brought up to actually believe that that's just what I have to do. If I see a child getting raped, I have to stop that because that's my moral duty.
But why?
Well, because I've been taught that that's the right thing to do.
But why is it right?
Because that's what I've been taught. Whoever told me that believed that.
Well, you could say right is the same thing as good.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that. But I'm just saying that naturally good and evil is something that's learnt. It's a perspective.
So that's where I disagree. I think it is objective. That's why we've got to this point in society, because people don't understand. They think paying tax is a good thing, when objectively it is a bad thing.
Yeah, but it's not necessarily evil.
It's a form of evil. It's just not. Evil has many levels to it.
A lot of people believe that paying tax
causes evil.
Is useful because all of society runs off their tax dollars.
Yeah, but what they believe is false.
Yeah, I know, but they don't know that though. So it means.
But you can commit evil and be unwittingly committing evil.
Then is it evil then?
It still is evil, but there's degrees of evil.
It could be seen as horrific, but if the person feels they're justified to do it, then they don't see it as an evil act. But their
perception is false.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Everything comes to perception.
But it's based off. Perception needs to be based off something that is objective.
Yeah, but it's not though. Perception is based on life experience and what you've been taught and what you know. You could train someone.
But it's like this thing is flat. This is not a sphere. Like that surface is objectively flat.
That surface is
flat.
Flat or level?
Level, flat. You know, sure, if you're going to go down to the microscopic detail, it'll have little gradients and bumps and stuff into it.
You could say
right,
that.
but we're not doing that.
If you upscaled that to the size of the Earth, it'd probably be,
Right, but it's going to be level. It's not a sphere, is it? It's not a sphere. Objectively, it's not a sphere.
Yeah. Well,
that's what logic is. Like,
they would say that surface is only flat because the drum holds it up like that. If the drum didn't exist, then the surface wouldn't be flat. Because the surface would have
the floor then. Use the floor.
What's that? The floor's only flat because we make floors to be flat.
That's what I'm saying. But it's not a sphere, is it?
What's that? Yeah, I agree with. I don't believe in. Yeah. I don't understand how they could do. Well, I understand.
Yeah, like the shape, because without knowing something, you can't know anything. You have to know something to know something else.
Okay, but if you're taught that your senses, that your senses can't be trusted because you might think that's flat, but there's a whole other bit that you can't see because your eyes can't pick up that level of light radiation, and it actually curves down like that. But I can see this because that's what I mean. That's how they justify.
I'm saying just what we're seeing right here, right now.
That's how they justify how we can't actually sort of trust our own senses because everything we see or feel or hear or anything is basically our senses interpreting the outside. If we're getting told by fucking the science that disagrees with what we believe, that you can't trust your senses.
But it's like a square is always made up of 4 lines. It can't be 2 lines.
Well, a square is actually also made up of 2 triangles. You put 2 triangles together, you get a square.
It can be made of 5 lines.
A square?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
One around the 4 sides and one across the middle.
Well, it's still a square with a line through the middle. Yeah, sure, but you can't make a square out of 2 lines, can you?
It depends if the lines are straight or have a bend in them.
Straight lines.
Straight lines, okay.
No, but still even then, even if they were curved lines, it's not a square. You know? But like, you can't, it's even simpler. You can't make a triangle out of 1 line.
Is that a square on the wall there?
Yeah, close enough to a square.
Okay, well,
it's got curves on the corners.
Well, that's why they have...
That's made out of 1 line.
That's why things have to have value. Like, you can't say, okay, a square has to have 4 lines because it doesn't exist without that. That's the value of it. So, unless you...
But it's like, well, it all comes back. Do you exist? You know, like, yes or no, do you exist?
I don't know.
You don't... Okay.
I've been told I do, but then again, that person has lied to me.
Well, okay, this is how you define existence.
Are you aware?
This is how you define...
Are you aware that...
I'm aware. I'm aware because I exist, and everything else that is not me is something else.
So if that's true, then there are other truths. Yeah. That can't be the only truth.
Well, it's the only truth you really know, that you exist to a point, and then beyond that point is things that aren't you. That's really all you know.
You can know, like, a triangle cannot be made out of 1 line. You can know that 1 line can, like, 1 flat straight line cannot be a sphere. Like, there's other things, you know, like, one value cannot be 10
Their argument is on the bigger scale, though. What we see as a straight line, because we can't see further, that actually, you could see further and higher, this is their argument, that it is a sphere. When they say there's a basketball, we see a straight line, it's not a straight line, it's actually curved around the basketball, even though it appears straight from a certain angle. You know what I mean? So,
say again.
You look at a basketball, right? You look at it from a certain angle, the lines on it, it could look like a straight line. But it's not a straight line, because if you turn it the other way, you can see that the actual line actually curves around the basketball.
Okay.
This is their whole concept they're trying to shove down our throats. But because they've used a basketball as a thing that everybody can relate to, then people go, oh, that makes sense, but it fucking doesn't. The Earth's not a basketball. It's completely fucking different makeup of everything.
That's what I'm talking about. Being able to identify what is true.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just giving you the arguments for the other side, just so you can understand that they actually have in their own minds what they think are valid arguments.
I know, but it's false.
I know it's false. That's the thing. And that's sort of, by proving that they are false is the only way to do it, which is why,
Yeah, and that's like with good and evil, I think. You can know what is good and what is evil. It's like, okay, would you like to be tortured?
Yeah.
Well, against your will, you wouldn't. So then you say, okay, well, that's evil. Like anything, anyone does really.
You're saying that being tortured is evil, right? That's actually.
I perceive that as evil.
Yeah, you do. But the person torturing you might not perceive it as evil. So it doesn't actually make it evil, it just makes your perception of it evil. You know what I mean?
Not necessarily, because they wouldn't want to be tortured against their will either.
They might want to be tortured. You don't know.
Against their will.
They might love that. You don't understand. They might think that what they're doing to you is not the same as what it does to them. Because you don't have feelings, basically. So it's all right to torture you, because you're like, it goes back to your example of Grand Theft Auto. It's all right to punch the hookers, because they're not real hookers. They don't have feelings.
That's it. I'm talking about two spiritually alive, conscious beings.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, but the person torturing you could actually consider you to have no feelings, so therefore it's perfectly fine. It's not like I'm doing this to a real human. So that would justify in their head why they're doing it.
But that's false.
Of course it's false, but from your perspective, but not from theirs though. So that from their perspective, they're not committing evil acts.
But they still are, because they're doing it against something.
Yeah, from yours, but from theirs, nah.
But from my perspective...
Yeah. But just because you have a perspective about something doesn't mean it's true.
That's what I'm saying. But everything, it's all perspective, though.
But you can view the Earth as a globe, and that can be your perspective. But that still doesn't make it true.
I know, but that's what I mean.
But there is an objective truth.
But yeah, that's what I mean. So the truth is the way forward. You have to.
But the truth is still the truth. The government is not here to protect us. They're the enemy. It doesn't matter how many billions of people believe it. Does not make it true.
I know, but it does mean that they believe it. That it's true to them.
Sure, they can believe it.
Yeah, I know, but that's what everything is belief in perspective. That's how people are. That's
but belief is only when you don't know something.
I know, well, that's the thing, but how do you know that you know anything?
Because I know I exist and I know I'm aware.
That's the only thing anyone knows. That's the only one thing that anyone knows. That's my whole point.
No, I know you can't build a triangle out of one line.
Well, yeah, well, maybe you can.
With a pair of scissors, you can.
You can chop the line up in 3 pieces, You didn't
no, without doing that.
No.
I mean, that's a good way to get around it. But I mean, with one line, that's 3 lines.
Yeah,
that's just making one line into 3.
So
no, but I'm saying just with 1 line, not with 3 lines.
Yeah, but from my perspective, I'm taking that 1 line and I'm chopping it
into 3. Yeah, but
3.
objectively, it's now 3 lines.
Yeah, but it was 1 line.
But I'm saying just with 1 line.
You wanted me to make a 3-lined object with 1 line. This is the way to do it. Cut that 1 line into 3 pieces.
Okay, I get how you could say that to get around, but I'm saying just with 1 line.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying that this is the people that will always just go, that's
sure, with 1 line that you cut into 3 pieces, you could make a triangle. That's good. Yeah. Right, but I'm saying only with 1 line.
Yeah, well, I would say, I just cut it into 3 pieces. You just set it and make it a triangle.
No, you're missing the point.
No, I get you. This is what I'm telling you. This is
the point.
This is what they do, though. This is what I'm trying to show you.
It's okay. It doesn't matter what they do. We're just trying to talk about what's true.
I agree with you. I agree with what you're saying is true. But I'm telling you how you're going to be argued against and why. It doesn't actually mean a person's evil. This is a perspective they might have.
Yes, but it still doesn't make their perspective true.
I know it doesn't make it true, but it also doesn't make it evil because they don't believe they're committing an evil act.
But it doesn't matter. Like, cops are still evil whether they know what they're doing or they don't know.
But they're not evil if they don't believe they're evil. I mean, evil is only a perspective.
Evil is doing anything which is against consent, which is a violation of someone's rights.
Yeah, no, but that's not evil to people. Do you think a chicken consents to fucking being chopped and eaten? It doesn't, but we don't believe it's evil to eat them.
Well, really, it probably is.
Well, we don't believe that, though, do we?
But they just taste so damn nice.
Yeah, it tastes good, but it's an acceptable evil.
If everyone believed that was a truly evil thing to do, then no one would do it. That's the thing. No one actually...
people, of course, they still do it.
No, I don't think so. I think that people who don't believe it's an evil thing, and the Bible even says it's not an evil thing. The animals are here
just
for our
because
pleasure.
The book says it doesn't make
That's
it so.
what people are judging their beliefs on. So
because they don't have the ability.
This isn't about truth, though. Yeah. This is my perspective of good and evil, and how there's no. It's all about perspective because anyone can justify anything they do.
Who has a period, but also anyone who buys them. So
what do you mean anyone who has a period? So you mean women and girls?
So I just mean anyone who has a uterus. Not all women.
Women and girls.
Periods.
Well, no, not all women. No, I mean, people who are postmenopausal, people, women under the menstrual age. So women and girls. We're not saying people who have periods on my show. We're saying women and girls.
Okay, well,
no, genuinely, I won't have you on the show if you're going to talk that nonsense. Men don't have periods. Full stop. Women and girls.
Okay, well, I think that's quite transphobic, but
you think that's quite transphobic? Do you know any men who have periods, Laura?
I do actually know quite a lot of trans activists.
Do you know any men who have periods?
I know. Yes, I do.
You do.
I think trans men are.
I think they're
men.
lying to you, love.
No, I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that? You think men who don't have uteruses, and you think men have periods? Do you?
Yes, because some men have uteruses.
Some men have uteruses. How do those men have uteruses if they're not born women?